The bookies are getting way smarter and punters are the dumbest that they've ever been. Let's bring up Benny Scarf.
It makes me sick, to be honest.
Because people think that that's good and then lose. Or does it make you sick that he's got bigger balls than you?
Benny Scarf is not a profitable punter. It is fully degenerate behaviour.
The thing that I have more of a problem with, Wolfden. They market themselves as, we're here for the punter, follow us for pro punting tips. Then they end up linking up with Ladbrokes. Like, mate, you can't be doing that.
One's not f***ing good, the other one's also not f***ing good. I don't think you can actually say something to them that'll be like, oh yeah.
Punters are getting dumber and Australians are dumb.
Oh, we're back again. No mics this time. A little bit different, but we haven't done a pod like this in a while. It's the Spring Racing Carnival, so we're just going to focus on what is happening right now. The clear thing that I'm seeing is that the bookies are getting way smarter and punters are the dumbest that they've ever been. And the bookies know this, and the clear shift in what is happening highlights this completely. So the things we're going to discuss today are exclusive promos. There's clearly been a shift towards that. Same race multis is getting hammered everywhere. The feeds now, copying bets, betting with mates through different apps. And then obviously we can discuss groups like Wolfden, Little Birdie, and then obviously the most famous man on Twitter at the moment, Benny Scarf. So I think we'll start with the shift towards exclusive promotions. This is something that we're seeing more and more, and probably the biggest of note bookie to make this change last week was the TAB. So they had been known for a while as being probably a bit ancient behind the times. Their app was an absolute piece of shit. They went and updated the app. They went and upgraded a few features. And now last week they've launched this kind of exclusive promos section in the app. So what are our initial thoughts on Tab coming to the party there? And obviously this is something we're seeing more and more. Ladbrokes did exclusives for quite a while. Even TAB have some, Sportsbet should I say, have some in terms of tokens and whatnot. This is a clear shift, right? Any reason for this?
Well, the logical reason is that you just want to target the degens and then not target people who aren't degens. Mm-hmm. Literally, like if Steve is not losing, 10K every 6 months, then he doesn't need promos. But if he is, then incentivize him to lose more. We know the bookies target their most profitable customers, which are the biggest losers, and that's why they invest the most resources, energy and time, provide them with VIP managers, provide them with bigger exclusives. There's people with like $1,000 bet backs I've seen, or bet returns on horses, things like that. Whereas the average site is just 50. There's a reason for that. They just want to get more out of the losing punters.
It was funny seeing in the community, once it got noticed, a few people were saying, I've got these exclusives on Tab. And then everyone was asking, what's your like race saver amount, or what's the amount? And then everyone had like 25, 50, there was a couple 500s. So like there's a clear agenda shift in terms of, like you said, they profile you, they identify you as someone that's super profitable for them, not so profitable, or they don't want you. They don't want you, they ban you. They want you, they are coming for you. They're going to give you offers left, right and center. So that's a clear shift. Do you reckon that's the only thing it is? Just to milk the more valuable members of their kind of app?
It probably would be like split testing as well. Like obviously, understanding what that means, it's like if we give this guy this much, does it change his betting patterns? If we drop him down to 25, does he bet less? Does he bet the same? At the end of the day, like promos for a bookie are expenses. They're costs to acquire a customer and also keep them making money for them. So if they're able to still make money off them with less giveaway and less costs, of course it's better. So I know Sportsbet do this all the time. They go from 50 to 25, then it goes back to 50. We've always speculated as to why they do that, whether it's just a random thing. We're still not sure, but I don't know. It's a number of reasons. It's, like I said, to get more money out of people, but also to test, potentially. I don't know, you got another reason?
Yeah, no, I think you summed it up well. I think it provides them more flexibility. So yes, it's going to allow them to put people up into higher categories to potentially make more money and milk those punters more. Obviously, we've alluded to it, but there was only ever sort of a number of categories that a punter could sort of go into in the past. It was either you had no promotions at all, or you were completely limited. Then you had no promotions. Then you had the standard site-wide promotions. Occasionally you'd hear someone had big, massive promotions, but I suspect they would have had to be manually turned on. And then you were a VIP customer and you were getting tickets to Moonee Valley in the grand final and all that. Now they've broken up those categories into much more finite areas, I suppose, and so you can be a $10 bonus back customer, a $25 bonus back customer, a $50 bonus back customer. And all of this would be automated based off particular triggers, I would imagine, that the bookies have. So it just enables them to scale quicker and milk those punters. But then also on the other side, it then potentially allows them to mitigate those costs. And someone who they may suspect might be someone who's abusing the promotions at a $50 stake, well, they can take them back to a $25 stake to see if it changes their behavior, then to a $10 stake to see if it changes their behavior, because they ultimately want to eliminate match bettors. We know this, but they don't really focus a lot of resources into it. But this just gives them another ability to potentially do that with that added flexibility.
Yeah, well, like at the end of the day, if you're running a business and you're making decisions based off guessing, that's not accurate, right? They want to get as best accuracy as possible. That's why they're potentially doing that as well.
Yep.
Otherwise,
More
it's
data.
just like, yeah, like you said, it's just 50 or nothing or whatever. Where
Exactly
now
right.
they're going even deeper into that, which is going to be handy for them.
Well, their downside is now completely limited without capping their upside. So they can, instead of just doing the site-wides and then going, yep, you're in, or no, you're out, it's like, we have some site-wides, but we move more towards exclusives, and then you either have exclusives or you have little exclusives, or the guys that would use every site-wide but are like full degen or whatever, they're like, you can have more. So incredibly smart move, and as I said at the start of the podcast, like bookies are getting way smarter, and I'm not sure, well, I'm sure punters just certainly aren't keeping up with them. So that's the first thing that I've noticed, the exclusives, and I think that's here to stay, and we'll see more and more bookies doing that. Some of the smaller bookies are probably even started that out. They limited their risk massively by just not giving everyone promos and then turning on promos for certain people. So interesting. And now TAB, probably the second biggest player, they've fully come to play. So, and we noticed as well when BetR and Bluebet merged, they pretty much went straight to tokens, and every person has different amount of tokens. So again, exclusives is the way of the future, it seems. So if you know what you're doing, great opportunity. If you don't, you're going to get wiped out pretty quickly, and we are seeing that. The next shift that we'll talk about is this whole kind of betting with mates, right? Bookies have clearly cottoned on to, if you bet with your mates or if other people are doing the same shit as you, they're going to be making more money. Like we touched on the bloke psychology a while ago. You know, you just want to, if I tell you like, let's get a bet with mates group, and you say no, and then we go, oh, you're a pussy or you're a coward, right? Like fine, he puts his $50 in that he probably didn't want to, and Sportsbet get another $50. So they're clearly pulling these strings or playing on these things. Tab have bet with friends or whatever it is. Ladbrokes have their punters club. I saw Palmer Bet even get on board. Like it's just crazy, right? You notice one thing that someone else is doing, they see it work, and then others are jumping in. What are we? Or where do we stand on this kind of bet with mates thing? I know JP is pretty passionate about it. We brought it up a while ago, maybe even before this started to become a full-on trend, but now it's like it's a plague.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just like if you put males in a group together, you blend in the hero egos of young males, you blend in some alcohol, you blend in Saturday nights, you blend in whatever else, the competition between them all. What do you think's going to happen? Like it's just
Exactly
going
right.
to compound and multiply the behavior.
Is this just bookies copying Sportsbet though?
Of course. Sportsbet run the game, but it's just logic. Like, how would you make people lose more? Put them together in a group, make it convenient for them to you deposit once. No one does the track data. Like, think back to the old punters clubs.
Yeah.
I never was involved in them, but like, you probably had to write it down, and some guy had to
Everyone
track
send
it.
me $50.
Then it's like through your bank. It's just like bang, everyone deposit, everyone's ready in the group, start betting, bang. And then you just bet. And it's just so convenient. You've got leaderboards. All these things have just been stacked on top to make it even easier for them to lose money. The convenience is the biggest thing though. It's like so easy to lose your money.
I think an added thing as well is it exposes the punter to the gambling industry so much more as well.
Correct.
Because if you're in a group with 8 blokes, if you're punting by yourself, you have to physically see it with your own eyes or have the idea to go and have a bet, right? You have to bring yourself to do it. So yes, you're going to get pumped with advertising and marketing and your own desire to go and have a punt. But if you're in a group with 8 other people, it's like when you're in a group chat, the notifications are going off all day, all Saturday, all Sunday, people are hungover, notifications, bing, 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 just reminding you about that group chat. That group chat is now on a punting app, and the notifications are people betting, and you're getting those notifications and you're getting like a little bit off topic, bookies are now sending out notifications when you back a winner. But all of these things are just to expose you, to potentially tempt you, to drag you in. And Bet with Mates now, you're just 8 timesing your exposure by having 7 of your mates also betting and enticing you to bet with them.
The group chat ones, that's such a good analogy or comparison, because you're right. Like, I'm in a few group chats and something might happen like in the AFL trade or the NBA trade, and I have no idea. And then it gets posted in the group chat, and then I'm curious about it, or I want to know more. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then in your sports bet group or your Palmer bet group or whatever, your tab group, someone bets on some race on a Sunday that you've got absolutely no idea or interest about. Then you're watching it. Then the group might win, and then there's like 4 other blokes that watch it. Oh, well, I'll have a bet now. I'll have a bet now. It's so genius the way that they've done that.
You're just increasing your stimulus
100%.
or stimuli, multiple, to lose more and to increase your chances of higher frequency, higher volume, like higher stakes. All of these things are just happening, and ultimately we all know what that causes. More, if you do something more times, you become more addicted to it. It becomes more than a habit. It completely overcomes your brain and everything else in it. It overcomes your relationships, and then all of a sudden it's just like part of your life.
I think as well, something Steve said is like when you're punting on your own, it's a bit different, but this also feeds into and gives more of a green light to punting for fun, because you're not betting on your own. Yeah. So it gives you that like, oh, I'm not betting on I'm not just sitting next to my missus placing a same game multi. I'm betting, like I'm being social. I'm betting with all my mates. So this is completely acceptable. But the reality is it's just getting more people, more money in the app, more people betting, because you're not actually with them. You're not technically being social, if you will. It's just green lighting the behavior of betting more. And the funniest thing about the group is that, say us 3 are in a group, right? And I'm just going to dog Steve. Say Steve likes to punt the most, punts the most money, punts the most frequently. If all of our money can be bet by Steve, genius. Like maybe you never punt, I punt the second amount and you punt the third amount. Yeah. You can bet my money.
Yeah. That's always been, they've never changed that still, haven't they? Like
no,
you can grab out Bet with Mates and put the whole 1,700 on.
You can set a max stake, yes.
But no one's doing that.
But that's what I mean. So they pool all our money, right? Like say you bet $50 a week, I bet 100 and Steve bets 200. If we all put our money in, the likelihood that Steve's going to bet more in the group is way higher, and he now has more money to bet. He's betting your money and my money because he bets the most money.
Well, yeah.
Obviously,
I remember when it first came out back in 2021, people were complaining about that, and they were getting scammed by people. People would put money in, and then some idiot would just rinse the whole group, just lose it all. But no, that's what happens. And like you said, if they haven't set that max limit, that can happen.
Your risk appetite would naturally go up.
Well, your risk is on, like you're not the risk anymore.
You're a tenth of the risk.
Tom's the risk, you're the risk, Nick's the risk, Greeny's the risk. Like,
it's weird because it's like, and I'm reflecting on my own experiences. You know, in a cricket club, there's been Saturdays go around, someone passes the hat around, chuck your $20 in, put a group quaddie on, and you end up putting like a $3,000 bet on. Like a $3,000 quaddie on. It's like no one in their right mind's putting a $3,000 bet on, but when it's everyone's money grouped together, you're like, I've only put in $20. And that same mentality would happen when you have a Bet with Mates group, because you're like, well, I've only put in 100 of this, but I'm going to put 300 on because it's only 100 of mine.
That's what I mean. You're not betting just your money. So your group is exposed by the weakest link. The guy that has the least control, the least responsibility, the least care, he has the most money to bet. And it can be a slippery slope. I'd be interested to know, like maybe in the comments, if anyone's ever had that happen to them or heard about, mateships blowing up because some bloke's blown all the coin. But
it's a really, I want to emphasize what you just said then. The group is basically held together by the weakest link, or it is only as strong as the weakest link. And that's actually a really scary
Imagine
thought.
playing in a footy team with a guy with one leg. No, legit, that's what it is.
But he can control all 17
you just
players.
Lose correct.
Or 18 players.
Tom loves it. But it's true. It's just an inflated edge, like to the bookie.
Yeah. Old peg leg.
There was a bloke.
There'd be actual footy teams with teams full of guys with one leg.
There was a bloke that we played with that had one hand.
Yeah, Dale.
He was a gun.
Yeah, he actually was a full-on gun. Played some games in the ones, I reckon.
Yeah.
So with the Bet with Mates, clearly that encourages, betting for fun, exposes the weakest link. The other more obvious shift, in my opinion, is like this group mentality, like this herd mentality. with the feed, Sportsbet pumped that real hard through the AFL, NRL grand finals. Dabble has been going hammer and tongs, getting like, famous people on their app. They want people copying it. This next step from bet with mates, and whether this is like, maybe they're looking for people that don't have mates to bet with, or people that don't like, for example, if we all know Steve's a big punter, I'm not getting in the group with him. Like maybe there are people that can see that being a risk. But then we've got these like feeds now, and these Tab have like teams. And what you can do is you can join, or you can copy someone, right, that you don't know. Or you can copy someone that's famous that you know. Or these teams on the Tab app, it's like, you can bet with the AFL experts, or you can bet with the racing experts that you see on TV, right? So this is like the next sophisticated step. It's like they're just building out these online communities where if you see and expose yourself to more people and famous people and people that you know and people that you don't know and people that you see betting, then you're just going to do that as well, right? That's also a clear shift. How do people identify that that's happening, and what can they do to avoid it? Like, do you reckon people sitting at home that aren't listening to this see this? Like, oh, Tab did this, Sportsbet did this, here's the feed, here's Dabble.
No chance. They don't think. Full stop. Like we've spoken about this heaps. Someone on my Twitter the other day, he said, punters are getting dumber and Australians are dumb, and you're not going to save everyone. That's what he said. And it's like true, because people like full stop don't think. Like, do you reckon the average Joe 50-year-old who's punting every day, watching Brad Davo on his TV, just randomly launching tips, is thinking about that?
Probably not.
No. Like, all you need to do is just go into a Facebook group and read the comments of people. Like, someone wrote on Saturday, like, how does anyone win on the horses? Like, that was a post. Like, that's the level of punting IQ. It's just not existent.
But why are these feeds and like these copy bets and making it so apparent that you can like copy others? Like, the way that I see it is like, unless, and maybe this is just way too logical, but like, if I'm not making money betting, why would you think that other people are making money betting? And then why would you, without any thought, copy them?
They don't. They don't think. That's not their thought process. Their thought process is, I'm doing it anyway, so it's cool to follow this guy. I like him. Like, who are they? I'm unfamiliar with this. Who's on those teams? Who are they?
Oh, like expert, like for example, like Tab have like Georgie Parker, Luke Hodge in like the AFL teams, or then they have like the guys that they have like a Sky Racing team, so the guys that are on Sky Racing do that.
Gator and Davo.
There's heaps of them. I think it's Gator and Dave, like more of the actual presenters themselves. Like, but is this? Do you think this has anything to do with like less people are going on track, less people are like going to pubs and stuff? Do you reckon it has? So it's like, oh, we'll just bring them together here, or?
I think it's also like the world is just an influencer world these days as well. And they're just cashing in on the social media influencer marketing, affiliate marketing, influencer marketing. It's huge. It's across every single industry. And now the gambling industry are just milking it massively. And everyone is getting sucked into it because they see, oh yeah, Heath Shaw, he took 6 running bounces in a game of footy. He must be a good punter. People don't...
Smothered Nick Rewalt.
Smothered Nick Rewalt, yeah, exactly right. He won the Pies a flag. I've got such fond memories of Heath Shaw, and therefore I'm going to start following his bets, and he must be a good punter. For some reason, people draw the connection between someone who has absolutely no nous with punting, but they were good at some other activity, or they've influenced them positively in their life in something that's completely unrelated to punting. So they're happily going to put their trust into them in a financial position, which is bizarre.
Yeah, again, I just go back to that's not a thought for them. It's just they're not thinking at all. It's really hard to say that, but they don't think.
No, of course.
You just logically summarised it.
Well, they're just trusting people. They're just putting their blind trust in people.
Yeah, but
for absolutely no
I think
reason.
it's too deep already.
Hey?
For them.
Well, they don't realise that they're doing it. Of course,
you're spot on. It's just like there's no thought. People they just do shit without thinking. Full stop. Outside of punting as well.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. It's Steve here. If you're sick of the ads on YouTube, jump over to Spotify or Apple Music and you can listen to the podcast there.
With this shift to like influencer type marketing, as you see all the big like Pepsi and Coca-Cola and all these guys do, Sprite, did LeBron and stuff. Like, clearly that's an agenda. PointsBet did Shaq, and they did the Inspired Unemployed, or what I always get the name wrong. Yeah. So now it's moving more towards like much lower tier celebrities. Like, they've gone away from the absolute top to get these more like, maybe they're micro influencers, but this is probably a good way to shift the discussion. Like, let's bring up Benny Scarf. Right? Wasn't famous prior, is a larrikin, is very, very good at what he does, clearly knows how to make engaging content, clearly knows how to relate to punters. He's on day 90, 91, right? So he's been going for maybe 5 months. He doesn't go every single day. And he's exploded. I think he nearly has 200K Instagram followers. Why is that so attractive to the average punter? And how has this happened?
A number of reasons. The first reason, it's like relatable. And if he's doing it, then it almost makes you feel better if you're doing it and losing your money. Even though everyone thinks he's winning, who knows if he is
I don't think people think he's winning.
I think some do.
Yeah, maybe. But I think most people would think he's losing.
But people would still follow him anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's even like people out there that just think it's amazing. Like, how good is this sort of thing? And is it like, do you enjoy watching it?
I don't mind it. I honestly don't mind it.
I
think he's a genius.
Of course, like it's elite content, but like, what's it for?
It makes me sick, to be honest. But I understand.
But it makes
the
you sick
entertainment
because
side of
you
it.
know people
Yeah.
think that that's good and then lose, or does it make you sick that he's got a lot of followers and you've got like tall poppy against him?
Oh no, it makes me sick that punters don't realise what he's doing to them. Like,
Yeah.
I understand the entertainment side of things. Some larrikin literally whipping his own ass, riding down, talking to Barb in the tab. Like, it's funny. It is funny content. But he is literally just sucking people into punt that way. And people get sucked into it because he puts his own money on the line. And people are like, well, if he's putting his own money on the line, there must be something to it. People love the idea, have you got skin in the game? If you haven't got skin in the game, I don't trust you. So someone will trust someone, even if you have proven track record, proven results, proven history, but they don't see you physically putting your own skin in the game. They're going to trust the person who has absolutely no fucking idea what they're doing, but they've got their own skin in the game.
He's got bigger balls than you.
Bigger balls.
Yeah.
What is it that he's doing, like his behavior, his activity, his nous for making content? What is it that's encouraging more people to bet or to bet differently? Like what actual, like, break it down for me.
Well, he's winning large amounts of money. If you zoom in on one bet, like he'll put 10K on something and potentially win, I don't know, he had won 25K the other day from a $10,000 bet, which is 15K profit. Like that is, on that isolated bet, someone's just made, they wouldn't even see it as making 15K, they'll see it as making 25.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. And it's just like exactly why people follow Tim Nackey. It's fun to look at, it's fun to watch, it's amazing. He's made money, like he's beaten the house. But reality is, like, we all know that if you bet that way, it doesn't work like that long term. You're not going to beat anything, you're going to lose.
I think that the best thing about what he does, like if I was a bookie or someone that wanted more people to punt, I think the smartest thing about what he does is that because his stakes are so massive, it makes the average punter feel less bad about their stake.
Yeah.
Like if he's betting $9.5 grand on this thing, if I have $20 on it, it doesn't really, like he's having 9.5, so I can have 20. Yeah. That's the part that I think is like, would be most influential, but this might be genius theory, but when I see him go to the tab to place a bet, that doesn't make me want to bet.
Yeah, of course not, me either. Same with Steve, but like...
So like that's the part that I find difficult. Like I can see where it's like, oh, well, I was going to bet anyway, and he's betting 9,000, so I can bet 20 and it doesn't matter. But that's the one part that I don't really, and the other thing as well, like his content is like, he's not posting it in real time. It's after the fact, like the race is already run. So how do people know what he's betting on?
So are you suggesting he might do another one and loses?
What do you mean? No, not that at all.
But is that possible?
I'm saying, how does it, you can't follow his bet.
Yeah, okay, but...
He does have, you can follow his dabble
Yeah, hang on, but...
tips, but yeah, you're right. But some of them...
Yeah, but hang on.
Fucking, we got there eventually, Jesus.
Yeah, but he was also, before this, he was an affiliate for another bookmaker.
Okay.
Like deeper than this. People probably wouldn't know that. I think that's where I first saw him, maybe like a year and a half ago.
Well, he did some stuff for
Unibet,
Unibet, yeah,
correct.
but he's on their, like he was on their podcast and shit. Like,
But do people understand what an affiliate is?
not sure. No idea.
Well, what happens when you're on the double feed? What happens?
Well, if someone copies your bet, you get 10 cents.
Is that all? Can you be a RevShare affiliate as well?
No clue.
Not sure.
Pretty
I
sure you
literally
can.
have no clue.
Not sure he's on one, but I know of someone who was on that.
With dabble.
Yes.
So my point is, like, he's posting these videos. Do you think that, like, and now we're speculating, but is he doing this for a bookie, or is he trying to blow himself up to get 500k Instagram followers and then go to a bookie and be like, brother, like I've built a $500,000 follower base off punting. I'm the most valuable asset that any bookie could have.
Hang on a second. Why is he doing this at a tab?
No clue.
In person.
Well, the one thing we know for a fact is if you have cash in videos, they blow up.
Yeah, of course.
So the cash is very smart.
Of course.
But I've got no idea why he's doing it at tab.
But I'm not suggesting this. But why isn't he doing this on the Sportsbet account online?
I think the action of going to the tab, putting money over, you can't do,
Yeah,
it's
obviously.
a lot more
But
enticing.
do we
so smart.
do we think? Well, hang on. Do you know Tab and Dabble are linked? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tab owns 20% of Dabble.
Yeah, I think.
Pretty
I'm not
sure?
sure. Yeah.
So okay, affiliate for Dabble, placing bets in Tab.
Yeah.
Connect the dots. Is there a theory that Tab's funding the bets?
So are you suggesting that Tab potentially like hide him? Do you reckon he built his own identity first,
yes.
or yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he already got a deal on Unibet podcast or whatever. So he has some.
Yeah, he
sort
was
of,
talking about how he was profitable punter. The old, I don't know if the reels are still there, but he was talking about how he profits off good tips and whatever else. And then I don't know when this all started, but it was kind of the start of this year maybe. Yeah. And he was just hammering this after Tim Nacky, like 5 cents per day for whatever you do. If you commit to that for 6 months, you're going to blow up.
Do you reckon that that's on the same level as Tim Nacky?
It's just a different industry. I think.
But if you ranked them, what do you reckon's worse?
I think Tim Nacky.
In Australia, probably Scarf. In the world, because casinos are more relatable around the world, Tim Nacky. But like if Scarf gets 5x following from now, he's got the same following as Tim Nacky, then it probably is just going to make it worse for Australians. But I don't think there are any, like, what's worse? How do you determine what's worse?
Yeah,
I think
sure.
just the public's opinion, going back to what you were saying before, I think the public do know that that Benny Scarf is not a profitable punter and that it is fully degenerate behaviour.
Yeah. Not that I want to
Maybe
defend
not.
him, but he doesn't say that he is.
No, of course not. But he has a tally that potentially is wrong.
Where is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
In his bio,
I've
probably.
seen different
Yeah, okay.
figures. I
But
don't
like
follow that
someone's
anymore.
reckons he's tracking his bets and he reckons he's down 60k or something.
Yeah.
But again, hang on. If he like you said, he posted in hindsight, like a day later. What is it? 12
I
hours
think
later.
in the Arvo, yeah.
Okay, how do we know that he didn't put a bet on another horse?
I don't know.
I don't want to speculate, but how do we know that? Because that's what people do when they post their winning bets. Like you see this hero bloke on a Facebook group. Go and check does he ever post his statement? No. Like we don't know. How do we know? He could post
If
three takes.
he's doing that, it's like full on genius which videos he decides to pick because he's not
You
profiting.
just post the winners and then you post some
yeah,
losers.
but he's not profiting. Like he's posting heaps of losers.
Of course.
That'd be so genius if so.
Yeah, but of course you're not going to post it if you're losing 100k.
Yeah. But he is. That's the thing.
But,
He's down
But
60K
maybe he's like
and-
purposely
Well, that's what
riding.
I'm saying. Like that's
It's like he's going to have a
that's a
huge
lot of
shebang.
steps,
Yeah, that
like-
would be full on.
that'd be
very
so
twisted
so
marketing.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that'd
what
be,
if
like,
he's what if
full-on
he's getting
genius.
funded for that? What
Who
if Tim
knows?
Nacky ended up getting a deal and
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe
how do we know
maybe
this?
he's like doing that himself. But like the reason, again, I'm not defending him. Like, I don't really have skin in the game. But like he doesn't say I'm a profitable punter. Now this is a really good segue.
he's got minus
into,
16k in his bio.
Okay. But I don't know what he actually is.
We don't
Because he's
know.
had a couple of wins, so that could be near right. Anyway, we'll move on from Benny Scarf. Elite marketer, very, very smart. Doesn't claim to be profitable. Definitely knows what he's doing. Probably not great for the average mug for a number of different reasons. The thing that I have more of a problem with is someone like your Wolfden, right? They market themselves as like, we're here for the punter, we're the pro punter, you know, Kingsley's a pro punter, follow us for pro punting tips. Then they end up linking up with Ladbrokes, doing a punters v Ladbrokes night on Manikato night, and then they rinse the whole punters pot.
Can you explain that?
So what they did, and Little Birdie did this before with Top Sport a couple of years ago. They used to do it at the Warrnambool Carnival. What they get is they get everyone to buy in. So everyone can buy in one share or whatever.
Who's
it is.
everyone?
Like whoever's on their app or
Yeah, yeah.
whoever's in their group, or Little Birdie did it on Twitter, I think. And what happens is like you all buy in. So you get one share, $20. You get one share, $20. And then we go, okay, we've got 5,000 shares. So we've got 10 grand or whatever it is, or 100 grand to bet with, right? That's our pool. And over the carnival, the Warrnambool Carnival, or over the Manikato night, we're going to bet the pool. And then if there's profit at the end, it gets evenly distributed based on how many shares you have in the pool, right? So Wolfden did this with Ladbrokes. It's us v Ladbrokes, right? It's all done on the Ladbrokes app. So first of all, like surely anyone with half a brain, like alarm bells must be going off, right? Anyway, so they're doing it Ladbrokes, like it's us v Ladbrokes, like we're going to beat the bookies, rah, rah, rah. They start off with like completely reasonable 1%, 1.5% of their total bankroll on a selection, right? I think they even hit a winner on the first race. And then it goes, and then progressively throughout the night, the staking goes from like 1% to like 15% to like 20%. And I'm pretty sure on the last race, they had like a $37,000 bet, which is like 40% of their bankroll. Go big or go home.
It was all in.
They're all in. This is the punting game. Like this is what punters do. So like you market yourself to punters and you build yourself up as like we're following Kingsley and he does staking and he does all of this right. And this is how punters this is how pro punters bet. And then everyone invests their money because they're going to bet with these pro punters and these pro punters are going to make us money. And then they just bet like complete degens with other people's money. So like compared to Benny Scarf, I reckon that's 50 times more fucked.
I fully agree.
Like they're teamed up with Ladbrokes. They're already doing paid ads for Ladbrokes. So Ladbrokes are like teaming up with them. It's probably giving them money. Not going to speculate, but like they're doing paid ads for Ladbrokes. Then they start this punters night, us v Ladbrokes. And then they just give away all of the punters' money in the last race to Ladbrokes. Like, mate.
No, but like, if you put it like that, it's so obvious. But people,
Is it though?
people will still watch that and be like, oh, but they're just having a crack.
Oh, they're just having fun.
But that was what they got rinsed on Twitter. Rinsed on Twitter.
But then there's people sticking up for him as well.
But mostly rinsed. Even by like
We'll go in the
people
YouTube comments.
People that would normally rinse you were actually rinsing Wolfden.
Yeah.
They're probably waiting for you to chime in. But like that, you can't be doing that.
Well, you can, because that's what they've done for 2 years.
And the best thing is like they've done so well at building their brand. Like people think that they're legends for doing that.
Yeah, but we don't want this to come across as like we don't like them because they're not like
I don't know.
because they're not legends or whatever. It's
I
just
don't
you
know
have to
them
look at the
personally.
motive here. It's like they've teamed up with a retail bookmaker and you're encouraging people to bet on the app of that retail bookmaker and then claim that you're trying to beat that retail bookmaker.
Yeah, I don't even think it's the motive because then we just speculate. I'm just like explaining the actions.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Like that's what happened. No idea why they did it, but I'm just saying like they're trying to beat Ladbrokes. They do it on the Ladbrokes app. They get all the people that follow them and trust them and believe in them's money. And then they start out staking normally because they're pro punters. And then they're at the end of the night having the whole pot on something. And then at the end they go, well, that's punting and this is a great game. Like it's a bit of fun. And it's like, but brother, you just like bet everyone's money and get
the
it
whole
to Ladbrokes.
money just go to zero.
Zero.
So they lost 100K.
Gone. Well, I don't know if it was 100K. I don't know the exact figure. But yes, the pool gone.
Did they bet the last thing, the entire balance?
Lobbed it, yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's a good stake.
It just summarises everything that we just spoke about. They're not betting with someone else's money. They've got a group of lads betting together, and
Yeah,
then
that's
they've
what I
just
mean.
gone
Ticks
and
every
ticks
single
every
box.
single box.
So wait, the people putting in the money, they have no say, yeah?
No. Oh, well, they have like a live chat on YouTube
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, yeah, but no. It's like, it was like meant to be the Wolfden making money for the punters. And then it just turned to absolute dog shit.
A 37% bet.
Or whatever it was, yeah. Like they had, I'm pretty sure they had 100K.
If
pool.
it's more than 3, it's probably a bad bet.
But the point is, right, they've marketed themselves, like they're punting as a pack, come follow the pros, like Kingsley, we're going to send out all these tips every week or like these, like how to bet. And it's like, and like I'm getting some of their emails. They do send out like, this is how you choose your staking and this is how you consistent with your bankroll.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like it's one thing to send that out and then another thing to just completely not do that.
Is that pre-planned, do you reckon?
To punt the...
To operate that way, to suck people into bet that way?
Nah.
Or is it they've just got carried away in the moment? Because if it's
Yeah, I think-
pre-planned...
There's no
probably-
accountability to anything, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. But, I mean, surely they've got accountability to themselves to operate in a professional... I'm a professional
That is
gambler
professional,
status.
man.
No, it's not. Placing
No, it is for their
37%.
audience. The audience doesn't want them to be pros. The audience wants them to be heroes, just being skin in the game, launching shit.
Well, then who are they appealing to? Because they're launching all these different things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the pro punter probably isn't going to be attracted by them now.
Well, I don't think the pro punter ever was.
Of course, but like it's confirmed. And now they've confirmed that their audience is full-on degenerates.
So their marketing is, we are pro punters, but in reality, they're not pro punters. But they're telling
Well, they might be. But
Well,
amateurs,
the marketing
they're not
is
acting that
the
way.
marketing is firstly like we'll punt as a pack.
Yeah.
So come on, get on the app. You can see what everyone else is betting on. But like for a long time they were headed by Kingsley, who is a pro punter. Like so, it's like he's going to give you tips, and they even did podcasts on like where he did like staking and planning. So they did do some education, and they did like a greyhounds education as well. But then it just turns into like, this is one thing that we're teaching, but then all of our actions and everything that we're doing is just completely degen. So then it's like, well, fuck me. And like that's the shift, right? Racing.com have partnered with them. Like it's clear as day. Man, even Betfair did a segment, Betfair versus Wolfden. Like it's clear as day that this is the way we can get more people to punt. And if more people punt, we make more money.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, really.
It's so smart.
Well, Ladbrokes are pissing themselves.
Obviously. They're cleaned up. But like, yeah, I don't know. I would just love for, like the whole reason that we do stuff like this, I just want to side note as well. We haven't spoken about match betting once. We haven't spoken about what's in our community. Like, that's not what this shit's for. But like, I would love people to watch this and listen to it and go, fuck, I did notice this. Or I did feel myself thinking about having a punt after watching Benny Scarf. Or have been following Wolfden for a while and I was actually thinking about buying into their next pot. And just like, at least be more conscious of what you're doing.
Sorry to interrupt, but the more people who learn these skills and can change their mindset around betting, the better we become as a culture. So send this on to your mate or your brother so that he can benefit too. I'll let you get back to it.
The other one we haven't touched on that's massive, and I'm sure anyone that punts would be seeing this as well, same race multis. That's clearly the craze, right? Sports better promoting, you can do what
5,
we're saying,
6 places.
fifth, top 6, top 7, depending on how big the field is. Any bookie that opens up now, they could be like a complete bum, brand new. They've got same race multis. So there is a clear agenda shift to educate in terms of like, let punters know that they can bet on same race multis. What are they? How do they work? Because bookies must be cleaning up in this space, right? So how do you get through to people that are listening to this that would be punting going, fuck, I have noticed that this bookie does same race multi, and Tab are promoting it now in their features. And yeah, I opened up a Palmer bet the other day and they do it. And what is all this about? Like, how do you get someone to think, if every single bookie is now offering this and shoving it down my throat, I probably shouldn't bet on it?
Gambling's the new smoking. I don't know. Like we've talked about gambling being the new smoking. It's like we got told smoking was healthy 60 years ago. Now you're getting told that punting on same race multis is the way to go. See the similarities? One's not fucking good, the other one's also not fucking good. I don't know, I don't think you can get through to punters. I don't think you can actually say something to them.
Well, it depends.
It'll be like, oh yeah.
They're on a spectrum, right? You've got the full-on idiot to just like have no idea and have no willingness to think or change. And then you've got like people who have half an idea that are just betting $10 a week. Then you've got people who just don't gamble at all. So it's like, I don't think you'll ever get the people who are like that, they're done. Like they're losing 10K a month, full degen, 20, 30K a year, that kind of stuff, don't care, have enough money to kind of justify it, doesn't affect them, they're just going to keep doing it, doesn't matter. But to change people, I don't know, like I think the best way to do it is to like say to them, you're getting conned and almost ego attack them. Like if you're happy to lose your money, like that's fine. But I don't know, there's no yes, do this and they're going to get fixed.
They always respond well when you say to them, well, you're the reason that we, and I know we haven't spoken about match betters, but you're the reason that we can do what we do because you continue to do what the bookies want you to do.
That hurts them.
It fucking does.
Someone in our group, member in Horse System, I said that to him and he fully deleted the whole chat. Like he just went off the planet. But I was trying to help him. I'm like, just understand that if you continue losing, you're just going to be the reason why other people can win. And he just didn't want to hear it, deleted it. So it definitely gets people when you say that. But like, it's pretty deep, like for people to say that.
Same race multis, what I find, I don't know, this is just my own thoughts on it, but how often do people back trifectas? Like,
as in, how often do they place the bet or win one?
Win on trifectas.
Not often.
Like after the Melbourne Cup and stuff like that, you'll hear like, oh yeah, Tracy from work, she backed the trifecta, and everyone's like, wow, she got the trifecta because that's Tracy.
Availability heuristic. You hear of one person out of 100,000.
It is, but I see the thing with trifectas, I think people had this idea that it was hard to hit. Like trifectas are hard to hit. Of course. And naturally the payouts would be, 2,000, 3,000.
Yeah, more than just backing the winner.
Exactly right. And when you're putting a same race multi on, generally speaking, I would say the average same race multi is someone's going for someone to win and then a couple of horses top 4. You basically need to hit the trifecta to hit a same race multi when you're doing that. Obviously it's the top 4 rather than top 3. But when you're putting it in a same race multi, I don't know whether the idea of same game multis. People have had winning same game multis, so they have this idea that because I've had winning same game multis and they're winnable, even though people are losing a stack on it, they think that that'll translate across to same race multis, when in reality you almost need to hit a fucking trifecta, depending on obviously what you're putting in there. But I imagine most people are putting 3 legs in order to win.
Yeah, well, it's just like, for a bookie, look at it like this. Chances of punter winning, low. Chances of punter getting high payout, apparently that's why we want them to do it. But it's still low, right? But the punter sees that as a big chance of hitting because the odds are going to be higher. But the thing I like to look at is, how do we actually know that's the correct odds? It's the same with the same gamer. Like, we're just plucking these odds out of our ass and then we're putting it in this phantom multi. It's not multiplied like a normal multi with each leg different. It's just made up.
Yep.
So they're obviously going to rip the shit out of your edge. And even if you do win, you probably lost 50%, 30%, 20% edge. And then in the long run, you're just going to lose more. The other thing as well, the bookie's doing this because they know that people can get, like, just backing one horse is not as exciting as watching 3 horses in the race. And shit, like, I've got to watch him, and like, fuck, like, it's so much more exciting. Plus, you have a higher potential payout. Like, it's all the same shit, just recycled into a different way.
Yeah. No, I've definitely seen posts in groups before where someone has hit a same race multi and the comments have gone, hey mate, you should have just backed the trifecta because you would have got twice the payout.
Yeah.
Punters wouldn't even have any idea that.
Fully no clue.
No, because any bet that wins is a good bet to a DGen punter.
Yeah, that's
It is
good
true.
way.
I think we had that discussion one time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you put like 10 grand on $1.10, you made $1,000. Is that a good bet? Like,
If the true odds were $2, then it's a horrible bet. But the punters made $1,000 and that's a good bet.
one, bro.
Yeah.
That's probably a little bit more deep in terms of like
Yeah,
mathematics
for sure.
around punting. So maybe not dive too much into that. Said at the start, bookies are getting smarter. One other thing that I've noticed, this isn't technically exclusive promotions, but I've noticed that a lot of bookies, especially like mid to lower tier bookies, are offering bonus backs to larger amounts of money, like bonus back second and third, maybe even fourth, to $100 or $200 on specific races, whether that's the group ones, whether they pick 2 or 3 races on a Saturday. And you'll often find that it's these 18 horse fields, $7 a fave across the field. So bookies are genius because they're like, oh, you know, the punter looks at it and goes, oh, Gold Bet are giving me bonus back to fourth if they run second, third or fourth, right? They're giving me $200 in this race. I'm going to use them. And then you go to bet on the race and there's 18 horses in the field. So the promotion's next to not valuable if you actually do the numbers.
Heaps of edge, yeah.
So again, like, this is just another thing that you need to be aware of if you're betting, is like, they're picking these races for a reason. Like, Play Up are doing all the group ones. Like, the group ones are doing this for a reason, right? Often they're max capacity fields, 18, 19 horses. Like, again, if you're listening to this and you're watching this, you need to just be aware of, like, you should instantly think the same way that you would think is if I go, all right, cool, you've watched all this podcast, go buy our Platinum now. You're going to go, well, what's in it for him? Like, what am I actually going to get out of it? Why is he telling me to do that? If we spent the whole podcast going, buy Platinum, oh, this is about Benny Scarf, buy Platinum, oh, this is about Wolfden, buy Platinum, the whole time you're going to be like, well, they're pushing this agenda. Like, obviously they're trying to get something out of it. Whenever you see same race multi, bet with mates, get in this feed, copy this bet on these promotions, like, you need to start thinking that exact same way. What's in it
Inverse
for them?
thinking. Like, think in the position of the bookmaker. Like, think, what would you do if you're a bookmaker? And I reckon your punting would be astronomically different.
For sure. But it just more so have the awareness that if something keeps getting shoved down your throat, it's being done for a reason. So to wrap up what we've been speaking about in terms of what's changing, what we've noticed, the direction that the industry's headed in terms of like promotions and what they want punters to be doing, what opportunity does that provide if you're aware that that is happening?
Well, if people are losing, then people can win. That's just how the world works, right? So if I don't know, you said the other week when we were asked, bookies are going to remove their promos if more people start match betting. I think, as you said at the start of this podcast, punters are getting dumber. So if punters are getting dumber, which means more losses are happening, that then means there's more opportunity for people who are match betting. So more promos, different promos, more exclusives, you can actually use this to your advantage if you're smart.
For sure.
There's no like one thing that you can do better. But if you learn more, if you stack knowledge, skill, get better at certain areas, of course you make more money. We're seeing it in our community. The best members of the community are now making more. And even though other people who have lower skill think it's not possible or it's slowing down, there's never been bigger opportunity. Ask Greenie, we have a bookie list. There's 100 plus bookies. There's 4 or 5 bookies getting added every month. There's all these different promos. They're all competing with each other. So if they're all competing with each other, you need to use that to your advantage.
100%. In the space right now, it's like the bookies, let's just say like 10 years ago, bookies v punters. Bookies were a bit smarter, but like punters were thereabouts. They weren't getting fully rinsed. The market percentages were a lot more even, whatever, right? As the bookies get smarter and as the market percentage increases and the bookies' edge gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the average punter, in my opinion, didn't even stay here. They started to get, dumber and dumber. Plus, the accessibility to punting becomes like anyone can punt now. You just got to have a phone and internet, right? And a bit of spare cash. So then more and more people are punting. So then the general IQ of the punter gets lower and lower and lower. And the bookie gets smarter and smarter and smarter, right? So the bookie knows how to juice you for every cent that you can possibly punt. And the punter is not getting smarter in terms of, oh, this is a terrible market for me to bet into, or, oh, the bookie wants me to bet this way. So for you to, like let's say we're never going to be as smart as the bookie, right? We're never going to have all the edge, 500 employees. We're never going to have all the data, nothing. But if we can get ourselves from here to like here, and you stand above all of the rest by a mile, you move like a tiny bit up, you're already in the top like 1%, right? If you break even, you're top 1% punter. So then if you move into like that match betting space and you add more knowledge and skills, like you're just like everyone's here and you can get yourself to here or here towards the bookie. That just means that all of this additional skills, knowledge, experience, understanding of what to do and what not to do, you're just going to be miles ahead of the average person. And that's the opportunity that presents if you are willing to take it or just conscious enough of what you're doing. Just simply knowing what's happening and why the bookies are steering you in a certain direction change the way that you bet. Even if you just like gambling, you're never going to do match betting, you don't care about making profit, you do it for fun, whatever. You can still make 5 practical changes to the way that you punt or the markets that you punt into and you'll make less money. I mean, lose less money, make more money.
Well, that means make more money.
Yeah.
For sure.
So like if you've got to the end of this, like my advice would just be like, just know what you're doing. Like if you got to the end now, you should be more aware of these things that we discussed. And the next time you see Benny Scarf, maybe you think a bit differently. Or the next time you see Wolfden, maybe you think a little bit more logically. Or the next time you see, or you get 8 emails about fucking same race multis on a Saturday, you don't just go bet them because you're getting emails about them. I guess that's kind of, we set the agenda yesterday. That's what I wanted people to get out of this pod. Unless you guys have got anything else to say.
No, I fully agree. It's hard to have that initial realization moment. It's hard to have that initial light bulb moment. But hopefully someone listening to this has had that initial light bulb moment, and it's incredible what happens to your perspective of the whole fucking industry when you do. Yeah. We've had people that have come up to us, and even we had a mentorship night last Friday, and one of the guys came up to me and he said initially he actually was a little bit drawn back by our actual hatred towards the bookies. He didn't understand why we
was that
so disliked.
Tony?
Nah. No, it wasn't. Yeah. Actually, it might have been. And yeah, he didn't understand it because he hadn't had the light bulb moment. We had the light bulb moment years ago, and so long we've seen so many more manipulative tricks that they are doing, which makes us so aware of what is going on. But that's over time and just seeing more things. And all of a sudden, every single advertisement, every single thing that pops up on screen, you know exactly what they're doing, but you need to have that first light bulb moment. So hopefully...
Yeah, I'll this is good, drop a comment in the YouTube what your light bulb moment was if you're watching this. I think it would be good to hear and see people's experiences, whether you've been around this community for 4 years or a year or you haven't even been in the space. What was the moment where you worked out that something was wrong or you weren't sort of buying into the agenda? And tell us what you thought of that when it happened. I don't know, do we want to give someone the best one or...?
You like to give away cash for fun.
You like to donate it, like the
what do you want to give?
Like the punter. Yeah.
Whatever.
$500. Is that enough, budget boy?
The mug punter himself.
The budget boy over here.
Yeah, 500.
500's fine.
Nice. Best comment, light bulb moment. Go for it in the comments of YouTube.
Enjoy. Looking forward to seeing you boys sit down with Greenie and Lenny later.
See you next time.
Stick around for that episode. See you next time.
Elite stuff.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the System Podcast. If you like that one, on the screen there are 2 other podcasts that are very relatable to this one. There is a bonus bets podcast, and there's also a same game multis podcast. In those, we speak about how the bookies manipulate you with those two features, and I'd recommend having a listen to them. Cheers.